Oh, we praise you, Lord. The title of today's message is A New Beginning. A New Beginning. First Sunday of the new year. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. And as I said in my beginning of the year, New Year letter to many who may have received it, I mentioned how this past year has been quite a ride, hasn't it? It's been quite a ride. In the midst of a pandemic I mentioned, which, by the way, it's still raging. Numbers are up. We need to get them down. We need to continue to wear our masks in public. We need to keep the group sizes down, stay among those that you are constantly among. The washing of hands, social distancing. But between that pandemic, this pandemic, and our nation in political and in many cases financial disarray, our houses of worship, all for the most part closed. And I mentioned how I thank God for technology. Thank God. I mean, like I said many times before, I don't know what they did during 1918, but that must have been really just really tough. We're going through this pandemic, but we've still been able to communicate, and I thank God that we've been able to meet through these means. Our schools are closed for the most part. Here we go again. Schools closing all around us. Again, thank God for technology. Thank God for remote learning. But let's pray, my God, for those that are having difficulty even finding childcare. Even finding childcare. Who do you take your children to without risking them? Who do you bring into your home? I was discussing with a friend. Who do you bring into your home without risking them? And how do you go to work if you have to be with them all day? Our first responders, as I mentioned, our frontline workers are fatigued. We have a vaccine now, praise God. Praise God for science, and praise God for scientists and medical professionals who use the knowledge bestowed upon them by God and through their hard work and studies to be able to create a vaccine. And this vaccine is slowly making its way, not fast enough. We have a new administration, a new president about to come in. So what I'm trying to get at is, I understand why we all feel drained. We don't just feel drained because of, hanging around doing nothing, or feel drained because there's nothing going on. There's a lot going on, and that's why you're feeling drained. That's why many of us are feeling drained and fatigued. And as I said before, the one thing we can all be certain about throughout this pandemic, right now, and even going forward, God is with us. God has not left us. And sometimes it feels lonely. It feels like we're alone. But remember that God is not a feeling. God is not an emotion. God is an experience. God exists simply because God exists. God exists whether you believe God exists or not. In the book of Matthew, Matthew's chapter 5, verse 16, it says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others." My hope and my prayer this year is that more than ever we allow our light to shine before others, that we make God tangible to others through random acts of kindness, by comforting others, by being there, even if sometimes it's just to lend a listening ear. It says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works." So that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. You want people to know your God? Show them. Show them your God through your good works. You see, there is no greater reward, as I've said before, than to know that we've made a positive difference in someone else's life. I don't know about you, but there is no greater reward for me. And remember that actions speak louder than words, as I mentioned earlier. So this year, more than ever, let us engage in random acts of kindness. And together, we can make the world a better place. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. It says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come." Care, and we talk a lot about that. Care. Care is made up of so many components, but none is more important than compassion. To join others in their suffering. And this is because to truly be compassionate, think about it. When you're joining someone in their suffering, to truly be compassionate, we must be able to step into their shoes. It should matter to us what it is they're going through. See, I find that in experiencing the suffering of others, the pain of others, in many ways, we come to understand that we are all taking part in the same race. It's called the human race. Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. God says to you, and God says to me, and God says to all his creation, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." This coming year, I want you to appreciate, as I said before, appreciate the little things in life. Because when you appreciate the little things in life, you will never fail to appreciate. And why is this? Because life is made up of so many little things. And I like to use as an example, and I'll give this to you today. For myself, sometimes when I'm feeling overwhelmed, or in disarray. I go back to the basics of life and I take a few deep breaths. And as I take these deep breaths, I thank God, because with each deep breath, I remember that there are those around the world, even in our own communities, who struggle every day just to take a breath. God have mercy. In Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24 and 25 actually. It says, "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works." Let's stir each other up. Let's be cheerleaders for one another. Let's cheer each other on to do good works. If you see your brother or sister falling, help them. Don't kick them while they're down. Help them. It says, "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." Brothers and sisters, I have news for you. You may not know this, but I have news for you. We're all going to die someday. Facts. Why don't we do the best we can to make the best of it while we're here? And we can start by understanding that to degrade or to downplay anyone's existence is to degrade the great cause of existence itself. Let us move beyond tolerance. I can't stand the word tolerance. I don't want to tolerate you. I want to understand you even if we don't agree on everything. It's okay. Let us move beyond tolerance and let us strive, as I said, to understand one another, even if we don't agree on everything. Because in striving to understand one another, we'll find that we have more in common than that which divides us. Absolutely. Psalm 34, verse 8. And I love that psalm. It says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man, blessed is the woman who takes refuge in him." I know a lot of people say the Bible is not gender inclusive. It is gender inclusive. Because we were created as equals. So where it says man, it means you, whoever you are. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. Remember this, that when a cause or an action no longer values human life, and we've seen a lot this past year, where something starts off being like honorable and then it turns nasty. Remember this, when a cause or an action no longer values human life, it is no longer a noble cause or action. You have to understand that the ultimate desire of every righteous human being is simply equality. And that means equal treatment, equal opportunity, and equal justice for all. And remember that these are Creator-endowed, unalienable rights. What we want for ourselves, let us want that for others as well. And let's trust in the Lord. Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Sometimes we put all our trust and all our heart into other human beings. Oh, and that's an accident waiting to happen. It's about loving the Lord your God with all your heart. The only one you can put all your trust in and all your and all your heart into is God. It says in Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. And in all your ways acknowledge God, and He will make straight your paths. This coming year, as we move forward, let's lean less on our own understanding. And let's lean on God. Let's move from just reading Scripture where we're entertained to studying Scripture where we are enlightened. And remember this, that doing, and I've said it before, doing what's right may not always feel good. But we still do it because it's what's right. Remember this. Remember that one's moral compass is not based on comfort, but on one's commitment to doing what is right in spite of. Seek to do what is right. This year, more than ever, seek to do what is right and to avoid that which is wrong, and do this at all costs. Because this will ultimately define you. I'll share a couple of more verses with you. We're running short on time. But Psalm 20 verse 4 says, may He grant you your heart's desire and fulfill all your plans. But make sure that those plans include God. Don't ask God to fulfill plans in you that don't include God. I've always said this, and I want to leave this with you. Mistaking kindness for weakness is one of humanity's greatest faults. Always remember that there's nothing, absolutely nothing weak about being kind to others. In fact, I would say that showing concern for the feelings of others, being helpful, being considerate, being courteous, even being generous, is the true sign of strength. And I'll share one more with you if you just give me a minute. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. It says, but they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Brothers and sisters, there comes a time when we must move forward forward from the realm of limits and tangibility to the realm of the limitless and intangibility. This is what I call spiritual enlightenment. And this is when true ministering occurs. And this is when both the minister and the ministered experience healing. Oh, when you're doing true ministry, both you and the one you're ministering to will experience healing. Both of you will be blessed. So, my hope and my prayer, as I said in my letter, is that this upcoming year, that you take time out, as I said before, for the little things. The things that may seem small to us, but may be of importance nonetheless, or perhaps important to someone else. Let us smile more and frown less. Let us laugh more and cry less. This is my hope. Let us hug more. We're going to get to that place where we can hug again. And if not, let's send each other virtual hugs. And let's fight less. When angry, let us think before we speak or we act. We can't control getting angry, but we can control how we behave when we're angry. And when we're happy, when we rejoice, when something good is going on in us or around us, let us share it. Let us share our blessings. Let us share that happiness with what I call spontaneous acts of kindness. And finally, when it comes to love, God is love, love is God. When it comes to love, let us move to the subconsciousness. What do I mean by that? Let us move to the subconsciousness so that we don't even have to consciously think about loving one another. We just do it. We just do it. It's automatic. So, as we begin 2021, let us remain, as always, steadfast in our prayers for one another and for others. And let us remain steadfast in our unity, steadfast in our good thoughts, and really steadfast in our random acts of kindness. As I mentioned in my letter, we are not out of the woods yet. However, we are well on our way. We will get through this together. This is my hope, and this is my prayer for this new year. Thank you, and God bless you. Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for giving me a little extra time. I appreciate that, especially today on the first Sunday of the new year. Again, if you need any PPEs or if I can help in any way, you can reach out through actioninchrist@gmail.com. Our church members know that they can reach us through the church chat. If you wish to donate to the ministry, you can just simply go to actioninchrist.com and click on donate. Also, for additional blessings, this sermon, as well as ASMR Bible reading to help you sleep, this type of content can be found on my YouTube channel. Check it out. subscribe. You can just go to YouTube and type Rev. Dr. Marcos Miranda and enjoy that. Other than that, may God bless you. May God keep you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.